Hey, West Virginia and Commonplace listeners. We did a little thing last night. We watched a movie. The movie was called Porco Rosso. It is a Japanese anime movie, and it was made by that studio that I can't pronounce that everybody loves. I ended up getting a still box of the movie. We were at Best Buy, and Stacy was in there shopping for a PlayStation 5 game. She went and bought Back for Blood. And anyway, so I got this movie, and then I realized that all these movies are readily available on HBO Max for free. So we started watching it, and it was about a pig in the 1930s that flew a plane, and he was like a mercenary or he saved people. Um, the movie was very, what's the word I can say? It was very different from what I normally watch. The animation was amazing on it for being from 1992.
It was. It was. It was very nice. I didn't realize how old the movie was. I mean, how many cartoons do I sit around and watch? But excuse me, how many anime shows do I sit around and watch? Either. I mean, but yeah, it was very nice.
Now the thing about is this movie had all kinds of innuendo in there. This pig was a womanizer. Um, Everything that a pig is supposed to be like chauvinistic and all that other stuff was portrayed in this.
Right. It did have some funny parts. I giggled a little bit.
And another great thing about this movie, and this is going to be one of our shorter episodes, like the themes that were in it. For instance, the pirates that were fighting in the air against him because he was such a great pilot, he could take out 50 planes or dip and dart between this and that, and he rescued a whole like catalog. And I say a catalog of children because he had a bunch of children on his ship on his plane, and his plane was one of those planes that goes in the water and then it goes from the water up into the sky. I don't know exactly what those planes are called. Um, and he cranked it and did different things with it. But either way, the movie was very interesting because it was a whole take on something completely different.
Right, and it was um how do I want to put this? Kind of old fashioned. So here comes the part. I mean, you can obviously tell in the beginning of the movie, but like you said, it was in the 19. Would you say 1930s?
Yeah.
So at that time, you have your men, and then you have your women, which are essentially nurses, and he takes along a female pilot. And then that is one part that I do remember from the movie. The other guys were wondering why he was working with her, and it played out.
And that was an overall theme because what had happened was his ship had got, or his plane, I don't know what I keep calling it, ship. His plane got destroyed by an American, and there were no men around to help build it or construct it. So the young lady constructed, she was an engineer actually, she constructed his new airplane, and a bunch of women from the village built his new airplane.
Yeah.
And that was unheard of at that time because things were not equal then. And then it was weird. The story spun a weird love interest of the pilot, the pig. He had a love interest in the movie. But at the same time, the engineer started having feelings for him, but she didn't dwell on it too much. She was more worried about the independence and being able to actually build planes. So that's what was built off of that relationship. So I really like that because it showed you a little bit of that, hey, we can still work together and it doesn't have to be all that sexual innuendo because there's heavy sexual innuendo in this.
Right. I think the part I remember most about that is they were talking and she goes, "Do you want me to kiss you?" And I'm like, "What?" And it was her reference to, well, it so and so kissed a frog and they turned into a prince. So if I kiss a pig, it will turn back to a human.
Yeah, and that's one thing about this that I never did get the whole time. They told the story of of how he became a pig to a certain degree, but they didn't give the full um, reason why he was cursed to be a pig, and they didn't give an explanation because he never did change from a pig. He stayed a pig, and then it was certain glimpses, like when the young engineer woke up, she thought she saw him as a human real fast, and the lead lady character that's in this, I forgot her name, but she actually remembers him as a man because her husband was a friend of his as a pilot. So it led to all kinds of crazy things between those two. Like you could see that there was a flare, but you didn't know she had a love for him and he had a love for her, but you didn't really know what was going on there. But to sum this up, um, as a person that loves animation as a whole, because those are the things that I will watch over anything else, I give this movie a 4 out of 5 because it drew me into this studio that produces these films. It was something I remember, like when I seen it as a kid, it was like dubbed. I mean, they wasn't dubbed; it had subtitles, and I just turned it off because my uncle we rented it from one of the video stores, and I was like, I can't understand this crap. And then later on in my life, like I said, I really had no gumption or any reason to even buy the still box, but I seen it and I picked it up, and I picked up another still box, and I was like, hey, I remember this, and I read it, bought it, came right back here, and like I said, once again, you can watch all these movies for free on HBO Max.
With a paid subscription, not prescription. I'm sorry.
Yeah, subscription. So like, it was a great thing. So, what would you rated the bits and pieces of this movie you seen?
See, this is a tough one because I mean I thought it was an overall good movie, but it's not something that I would sit there and watch all the time. I would like to rewatch it so that way I can actually pay attention to what's going on the next time. Um, but still, I'd say probably about a 2 for right now. For yeah, no offense to anybody that would like it, I do recommend you checking it out because you might learn something.
Yeah, and I will say this: this is one thing. Keep this movie away from children. Its themes are a little.
Your younger children, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to use your best judgment. I mean, some little ones might not even get what's going on, but your middle age, preteen, pubescent children might not need to watch it.
No doubt in that. So once again, this has been a movie review with my co-host Stacy. The film once again is Porco Rosso. I may have chopped up the name on that one. Very good animated film in my opinion. And once again, hers is on a limited view. So I want to say this to anybody and everybody. Please head over to westvirginiauncommonplace.com or wvuncommonplace.com. I'm not going to say the W's because I chop them up and mess them up. Sign up for our newsletter. Leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify Podcasts, because that's the way that our algorithm moves around. And with the email list, that's the way that we can figure out who you are and we can actually contact you and interact with you. And whenever we decide to do a sometime cinema somewhere, we can give you an invite.
Right, and then don't forget to follow us over on TikTok. You know, if you're on there, follow it. You might as well. We don't post a whole lot there, just random stuff. We would like to get up to 1,000 followers just so we can try out the whole live feature. If you know of any movies that you want us to review, just let us know. Send us an email, send us a message, give JR a call on his line. Give us something good to watch.
And also, remember, everyone knows if you are a follower on our email service, that phone number is 304-462-9721. You can leave a message, and if your message makes it to the end of the year, it'll be one of the messages that I do in the message episode that we're going to do this year. Once again, this is JR from West Virginia Uncommonplace, along with
Stacy.
And we're signing off.